Hey guys, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Just trying to make it before 12, but okay. Yeah, that's some more bullshit. We got the summer solstice to go. Okay. Top of all other bullshit. I like to be informed now, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm doing this. I want to know what this mean, what that mean, you know, so I can prepare for the upping. Finish this. Yeah, so we gonna talk about it. Find out what a summer solstice is first, okay? Did I have it on the wall somewhere? There's so many notes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's find out what the summer solstice is first. Foremost, then we'll know what this mean and what kind of effery they plan on pulling on us. Okay. Oh yeah, my wild grapes, yeah. I was waiting for it to go. It came in Gemini season. I thought it was gonna come in Taurus, and I forgot to put it in my tea, so I'm putting it in now. Mm. Ain't no seeds. Mm. Mm. Ain't real. Sour. Mm. There you go. What can I say? Mm. There you go. Yeah. What's that? Mm. Sorry, y'all. Mm. Yeah. So let's see. I'm gonna read about it, y'all. Oh, I should have put in there the tarot. Then we're gonna see what can we be aware of. You know what I'm saying? And what we need to do, how to prepare ourselves. Okay. See where all this come from, how it started, why it started, as much as I can find out on the internet. Okay. All right. Let me see what I got over here. The sun reaches its northernmost position as seen from the earth. Its zenith does not move north or south as during most other days of the year. What rituals can we use and are going to be used? But it stands still at the Tropic of Cancer. It's then reversed its direction and starts moving south again. So I guess they're talking about the sun. I was watching a movie, I think I mentioned it before, called Saltis. Saltis. And it was this girl, mom, some like um creature in the sea, in the water, the river where the family house was, um, grabbed the mama in there, and years later, dad had moved away. He's been looking for her. Actually, when she was trying to get the husband, she was like singing like the sirens. She was singing, and she wanted him, but the wife showed up, and by her anger, she took the wife instead. So then years passed by. She had a daughter, and then her and her daughter came. The daughter came back to the house to clean it out or whatever. and she brought some friends. So one friend decided to go swimming, and when they went swimming, the lady was in the water, and she was possessing him. So, long story short, she met a guy in the store from New Orleans, and he was telling her about Papa Legba and how they use Papa Legba. They to do a little ritual, get in the water, and call on Papa Legba to show them the lady that was in there. Because Papa Legba is one of the deity that you will go to from African history, Haitian, New Orleans, whatever. And he would be the one, he's the crossroads. If you're stuck at a crossroads, he would be the one to help you get to talk to, open the crossroads. So you need to talk to the right people, okay, up in the spiritual world. So that's what he was doing. And it what it did is it brought out, because one of the guys that they were with, him and the girl's sister, because the sister kind of went crazy, and the other sister did not know why, but the boyfriend did. So the boyfriend was trying to talk to the other sister. So what happened was Papa Legba brought out the lady that was in the water, was bringing out the truth of what happened, because there was another man that was kind of weird. They thought he was weird. He was following them around, asking questions, and his daughter had came up missing. And coming to find out, the sister that passed away, boyfriend and her was driving and arguing or something, and they hit the little girl on a bicycle. And instead of they reporting and bringing her to the hospital, they buried her alive, and they hid it for years. So the sister that passed away couldn't stand it, so it drove her crazy. I can't remember if she killed herself or what. I think she did. But the little girl, the lady, the one that was in the water, whatever, she would come and visit the girl before she died. So that drove her crazy, because she didn't, she just hit her like that. So the other sister had to solve the problem, and her and the boyfriend happened to be driving one day, her sister boyfriend, and she kept hearing the little girl calling her and stuff like that. So she found out, just happened to go with the little girl buried at and all this kind of stuff. So the truth came out. So that's why they had the help from Papa Legba. They didn't know that he was going to help them solve a murder uh, that happened a long time ago. That's why everything was happening. So, yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It says the June solstice, and I always read some of that off of there. In the Northern Hemisphere, solstice, aka summer solstice, occurs when the sun travels along its northernmost path in the sky. This marks the astronomical start of summer in the northern half of the globe. In the southern hemisphere, it's the opposite. The June solstice marks the astronomical start of winter, when the sun is at its lowest point in the sky. When is the summer solstice? The summer solstice occurs on Tuesday, June 21st, 2022 at 5:14 a.m. So that's next week, next Tuesday. This solstice marks the official beginning of summer in the northern hemisphere, occurring when Earth arrives at the point in its orbit where the North Pole is at its maximum tilt, about 23.5 degrees toward the sun, resulting in the longest day and the shortest night of the calendar year. By longest day, we mean the longest period of sunlight occurs. Okay, we all know the sun lasts longer in the summertime. On the day of June solstice, the northern hemisphere receives sunlight at the most direct angle of the year. In the southern hemisphere, the June solstice marks the beginning of winter. Okay, I need to put what Native Americans and others around the world. Okay. Okay, they gave me a calendar. What is the summer solstice? Okay. 8 months to start of summer, blah, blah, blah. We did that. Solstice come from the Latin solsticum, from sol, sun, and tisum, still or stop. Due to Earth's tilt axis, the sun doesn't rise and set at the same locations on the horizon each morning and evening. Its rise and set position move northward or southward in the sky as Earth travels around the sun through the year. Also, the sun's track in the sky becomes higher or lower throughout the year. The sun's solstice is significant because the sun reaches its northernmost point in the sky at this time, at which the sun's path does not change for a brief period of time. I know it gets boring, but you gotta know at least what that is, right? After the solstice, the sun appears to reverse course and head back in the opposite direction. The motion referred to here is the apparent path of the sun when one views its position in the sky at the same time each day, for example, at local noon. Over the year, its path forms a sort of flattened figure eight called an analemma, analemma. Of course, the sun itself is not moving unless you consider its own orbit around the Milky Way galaxy. Instead, this change in position in the sky that we on Earth notice is caused by the tilt of Earth's axis as it orbits the sun, as well as Earth's elliptical rather than circular orbit. So I got examples, pictures. Does the solstice always occur on the same day? The timing of the June solstice is not based on a specific calendar date or time. It all depends on when the sun reaches its northernmost point from the celestial equator. Therefore, the solstice won't always occur on the same day. Currently, it shifts between 21st, and 22nd, the year's longest day. The summer solstice is the day when the longest period of sunlight. Notice how the sun appears highest in the sky at the solstice. Its rays strike Earth at a more direct angle, causing the efficient warming we call summer. Because the sun is highest in the sky on this day, you'll notice that your shadow at local or solar noon, not clock time noon, is shortest that it will be all year. Local noon is when the sun crosses the local medium, an imaginary line between the north and the south poles, and is highest in the sky for the day. So we go by time. They saying not time when you notice that. So I guess we have to pay attention to our shadow. For those who live in the southern hemisphere, this is the shortest day of the year and marks the arrival of winter. As the summer solstice is the first day of summer, yes and no. Typically, it depends on whether you're speaking about the meteorological or astronomical start of the season. Most meteorologists divide the year into 4 seasons based on months and temperature cycle, which allows them to compare and organize climate data more easily. In this system, summer begins on June 1st and ends on August 31st. Therefore, the summer solstice is not considered to be the first day of summer. Oh, I know what I want to future relate to. Meteorological speaking. Astronomically, however, the first day of summer is said to be when the sun reaches its highest point in the sky, which occurs on the summer solstice, June 20th, 22nd. Therefore, the summer solstice is considered to be the first day of summer, astronomically speaking. As an almanac, which is defined as calendar of the heavens, ALMANAC, calendar of the heavens. We prefer to follow the astronomical interpretation of the seasons and do consider the first day of summer to coincide with the summer solstice. That being said, you may choose to follow whichever system you like best. There is also a common debate regarding how the exact timing of the solstice affects the first day of the season. For example, if the solstice occurs on 11:30 p.m. on Saturday, should we consider that Saturday to be the first day of summer, or should we instead consider the following day, Sunday, to be the first day? It tends to differ by whichever source you follow. Is the summer solstice the longest day of the year? Yes. As spring ends and summer begins, the day periods of sunlight lengthen to their longest on the solstice, then begin to shorten again. On the solstice, the sun is at its highest point in the sky. I say they keep repeating themselves. Okay, let's find another one. Yeah, it's the same one I was looking at. Yeah, they keep repeating the same thing. Okay. Summer solstice arrives Sunday night, marking year's longest day. Oh, that's 2021. Okay, that's not right. Okay. Astronomically seasons Tom Caress and Emma from the Royal Observatory Greenwich explain what an astronomical season is all about. In astronomy, the June solstice is, which is defined by a point in the Earth's orbit around the sun, signifies the beginning of the summer. Okay, we read that. The Earth axis tilt as it travels around the sun, so some parts of the Earth receive more sunlight each day than others. As the Earth moves around the sun, the hours of daylight change, and this is how we get seasons. Here's an explanation from the experts. The Earth has a tilt, meaning its Earth north and south pole are perfectly lined up with the sun. This tilt is about, okay, we read that, blah, blah, blah. When all of us in northern hemisphere are tilted toward the sun, there are more hours of the day. Okay, we got that. Okay, give me something, y'all. It is a tilt of Earth in relation to the sun that defines when the solstice falls. Each year, visitors from around the world gather at Stonehenge overnight to watch the sunrise for the summer solstice. So everybody go to the Stonehenge. Okay. Stonehenge. So astronomically, summer starts at June solstice, the 20th. As long as the sun, they got 2021st. Meteorological season, because the Earth actually takes 365.24 days to travel around the sun. We add an extra day every fourth year. We call it a leap year. This means the longest and the shortest days vary from one year to the next. Elliptical shape of the Earth's orbit causes the lengths of the astronomical season to change, and this means it is difficult to compare climatological statistics consistently for a particular season. This is where the meteorology seasons come in. Okay, okay. So now we know what that is. We can get out of summer solstice. Okay. Let's see. Let's get rid of that. Okay, let's go to Stonehenge. What is Stonehenge? Hinge. Hinge. Purpose of the Stonehenge. Yeah, I mean, we see that they got them rocks and they're trying to figure out how they got there. They're sitting in the middle. Let's see where. For centuries, historians and archaeologists have puzzled over the many mysteries of Stonehenge, a prehistoric monument that took Neolithic builders and is estimated 1,500 years to erect. Located in southern England, okay, it's in southern England. Cemetery page. Okay, I always like making my notes. Hinge. Prehistoric. Located in southern England, this is comprised of roughly 100 mass upright stones placed in a circular layout. I always thought it was where, back in the day, assumed that the aliens land on it, like they do, like I seen a movie with the pyramid. Okay. But while many, modern scholars now agree that Stonehenge was once a burial ground. Hmm. They have yet to determine what other purpose it served and how. That's what I think. That's what it was. They say they don't know really what it was. It served and housed a civilization without modern technology or even a will produced a mighty monument. So either the whatever God came at that time and ruled, that's what I'm not thinking. Or they did it like I said, the monks did, vibration and frequency of noise, sound, vibration, making the rocks move into place. Either one. Produced the mighty monument. Its construction is all the more baffling because while the sandstone slabs of its outer ring hail from local quarries, and for it not to fall down through any storm, there's got to be them gods that came at that time, or goddesses. Scientists have traced the blue stones that make up its inner ring all the way to, so we got the blue stones that make up its inner ring all the way to the Preseli hills in Wales, some 200 miles from where Stonehenge sits on Salisbury Plain. Today, near 1 million people visit Stonehenge in UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1986 every year. Stonehenge multi-phase construction. Anthropologists believe England's most iconic prehistoric ruin was built in several age stages, with the earliest constructed 500 or more years ago. First Neolithic Britons, used primitive tools, possibly made from deer antlers, to dig a massive circular ditch and bank or hinge or Salisbury Plain. Deep pits dating back to that era and located within the circle, known as Oddbury Holes, after John Oddbury. In 17th century, Antiquarian, who discovered them, may have once held a ring of timber host, according to some scholars. I have no idea what that means. Did you know in 1620, George Villars, first Duke of Buckingham, dug a large hole in the ground at the center of Stonehenge, looking for buried treasure? I bet he would. Several hundred years later, it is thought Stonehenge's builders housed an estimated 80 non-ingenious blue stones, 43 of which remain today, into standing position and placed them in either a horseshoe or circular formation. Hmm, really? During the third phase of construction, which took place around 200 BC, Saracen sandstone slabs were arranged into an outer crescent or ring, somewhere assembled into the iconic three-piece structures called trilithons, trilithons, that stand tall in the center of Stonehenge. Some 50 Saracen stones are now visible on the site, which may once have contained many more. Radiocarbon dating suggests that work continued at Stonehenge until roughly 600 BC, with the blue stones in particular being repositioned multiple times. What made Stonehenge's builders collect massive stones from 180 miles away? The megaliths of Stonehenge. Stonehenge's Saracens, of which the largest weighs more than 40 tons and rises 24 feet, were likely sourced from quarries 25 miles north of Salisbury Plain and transported with the help of sledges and ropes. They may even have already been scattered in the immediate vicinity when the monument's Neolithic architects first broke ground there. The smaller blue stones, on the other hand, have been traced all the way to the at Hills, P. Hills, in Wales, some 200 miles away from Stonehenge. How then did prehistoric builders without sophisticated tools and engineering haul these boulders, which weighed up to 4 tons, over such a great distance? According to one long-standing theory, Stonehenge's builders fashioned. Okay, what was their purpose of why they did the Stonehenges? That's what I want to know. Not y'all theory of why they how they did it. I don't know why. The global dot in the giant rocks known as glacier erectics that were carried over long distance by moving ice flows. Perhaps Stonehenge mammoth slabs were snatched from. Stonehenge is handwork of the wizard Merlin. Okay. Handiwork of the wizard Merlin. I heard of that. I think Harry Potter too. In the mid 5th century, the story goes, hundreds of British nobles were slaughtered by the Saxons and buried on Salisbury Plain, hoping to erect a memorial to his fallen subjects. King, oh, is that word right here? Hold on, yeah. That kept coming out. Where is that? Now I can't find it. Ain't that something? Kept jumping out and everybody reading. Now it won't come out. Ain't that something? No, I can't find it. Let's see. Okay, here you go. Aure. Oh, that's the same word. Look at this. Aureoles. Ain't those two the same word? King, gold monetary unit, ancient Rome, the Roman word gold money. Hmm. To me, it is. Ambrosia sent an army to Ireland to retrieve a stone circle known as the Giant's Ring. Hmm. Which ancient giants had built from magical African bluestones. Wow. The soldiers successfully defeated the Irish but failed to move the stones. So Merlin used his sorcery to spirit them across the sea and arrange them above the mass grave. Legend has it that Ambrosia and his brother Uther, King Arthur's father, are buried there as well. Wow, really? While many believe Mammoth's account to be the true story of Stonehenge's creation for centuries, the monument's construction predates Merlin, or at least the real-life figure who are said to have inspired him are several thousand years. Other early hypotheses attributed its building to the Saxons, Danes, Romans, Greeks, and Egyptians. Boom. Oh, hey, Leah. I didn't see you over there. Uh, right? Hey, how you doing, Victoria Helen Stone? How you doing? Yeah, just trying to see what else they go throw at us. We got the summer solstice that started, so let's see how we can protect ourselves. My daughter sent me a message. Okay, let's see. Okay, giants. Okay, well, I start that. The Saxons, Danes, Romans, Greeks, and Egyptians. In the 17th century, as archaeologist Aubrey made the claim that Stonehenge was the work of the Celtic high priests known as the Druids. Okay, so we got the Celtics priests, the Druids. A theory widely popularized by the antiquarian William, whoever his name, who had unearthly primitive graves at the site. Even today, people who identified as modern Druids continue to gather at Stonehenge for the summer solstice. However, in the mid 20th century, radiocarbon dating demonstrated that Stonehenge stood more than 1,000 years before the Celtics inhabited the region, eliminating the ancient Druids from the running. Okay. Many modern historians and anthropologists now agree that several distant tribes of people contributed to Stonehenge, each undertaking a different phase of its construction. Bones, tools, what she said now? Hold on, yeah. Oh, okay. That's closer. Oh, really? What is she saying now? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I don't know what they be throwing at us. We was riding in the car today, me and my daughter, and all of a sudden the stop the music and everything. You know how they make that noise? It is emergency. They named about 6 or 7 states, and we couldn't understand what the warning was. We thought it was gonna be the heat. In the Utah, Nebraska, Texas, Alabama. I forgot the other ones. And they say some throwed off names, so beware or something. It's like, what y'all got planned? I know y'all got something planned. They finna try some trickery. I said, let me keep on reading. What's next? After this full moon, what's next? Bones, tools, and other artifacts found on the site seem to support this hypothesis. The first stage was achieved by Neolithic A. Agranes, Agrarians, who were likely indigenous to the British Isles. Later, it is believed groups with advanced tools and more communal way of life left their stamp on the site. Some have suggested that they were immigrants from the European continent, but many scientists think they were native Britons, Britons, native descendants from the original builders. Stonehenge function and significance. If the facts surrounding the architects and construction of the Stonehenge remain shadowy at the best, the purpose of the resting monument is even more a mystery. While historians agree that it was a place of great importance for over 100 years, we may never know what drew early Britons or Salisbury Plain and inspired them to continue developing it. There's a strong, uh, okay, whatever their name, diggers, evidence that Stonehenge was used in a burial site, at least for part of its long history. But most scholars believe it served other functions as well, either as a ceremonial site, a religious pilgrimage destination, a final resting place for royalty, or a memorial erect to honor and perhaps spiritually connect with distant ancestors. See, that's what I'm thinking it was. I'm thinking it's got to do with the gods that come. I might be wrong, but I don't know. In the 1960s, astronomer George suggests that the clusters of megalith stones operated as astronomical calendar, with different points corresponding to astrological phenomena such as solstice, equinox, and eclipses. Okay, because we had all them boom, boom, boom. While his theory has received quite a bit of attention over the years, critics maintain that Stonehenge builders probably lacked the knowledge necessary to predict such events, or that England's dense cloud cover would have obscured their view of the skies. Oh, because England is like, this is going all in my face. Never been to England, but I heard it's kind of dreary. I don't know. I didn't think I always think of somebody is dumb because they didn't come from this age. Scientists sit there. More recently, signs of illness and injury in the human remains unearthed at Stonehenge led a group of British anthropologists to speculate that it was considered a place of healing. Really? Write that down. Perhaps because blue stones were thought to have curative powers. Stonehenge today, one of the most famous and recognized sites in the world. Stonehenge draws more than 800,000 tourists a year, many of whom also visit the region's numerous other Neolithic and Bronze Age marvels. In 1986, Stonehenge was added to UNESCO Registry of World Heritage Sites in a co-listing with Avenue Berry, a Neolithic henge located 17 miles away that is older and larger than its more famous neighbor. Stonehenge has undergone several restorations over the years, and some of its boulders have been set in concrete to prevent collapse. They ain't fell all these years. Meanwhile, anthropological excavations and development of the surrounding area to facilitate tourism have turned up other significant sites nearby, including other hinges. Okay, okay, that was interesting. Something else I want to look at before I start. So that was by a sorcerer. They think a sorcerer. I mean, no, it wasn't a sorcerer. What he was? He was a. Oh shit! I didn't write it down. You're kidding me. A wizard. Okay. Okay. Let's do what is wizards. Where did it start? I always wanted to know that. What is a wizard?
Here's the definition of wizard: a man who has magical powers, especially in legends and fairy tales.
A help feature of a software package that automates complex tasks by asking a user a series of easy to answer questions. I was looking more than one definition. I can't help it. So this is a software package. Let's say one we got a magical powers. Oh, I had a okay, then a software package. It was a guy. Let me see. Let me look. Let me see. Can I find it? He got fired from Google or somewhere. I seen that cause he told on something. Where is it at? Dang. Where is it at? Dang, hope I ain't erased it. I got so much shit. I be interested in so many things. Where is it? Oh, here you go. It says Google engineer put on leave after claiming chatbot can express thoughts and feelings. So I'm wondering what that is. Chatbot. So that's some type of computer or something can express thoughts and feelings. So they put him on. So they got to be pretty big. He spilled the beans. I was just wondering when they talking about the wizard, is that a new type of wizard? Now that I'm looking at this, I don't know. Yeah, I'll be doing some wonderful, and it also wizard means wonderful, excellent. Hmm. He absolutely wizard. How absolutely wizard. So wonderful and excellent. What does being a wizard mean? One skilled in magic, sorcerer, a very clever or skillful person, or skillful person. Computer wizard. Hmm. Oh yeah, we call people that who know about to get on computers. Archaic, a wise man, a sage. Okay. Okay, that's in the cards. Okay. What makes a person a wizard? A wizard is usually a wise old man, Papa Legba, often with a long white beard or flowing robes. Oh, no, he don't look like that. He may use a wand or cast magic spells to help or harm other characters. Wizards can be good or bad and may serve as a guide or mentor for major characters in a story. Merlin from the King Arthur legends is one example of a wizard. So this is supposed to be a real person, Merlin from the Stonehenge, wise man. Okay, okay. So we got that. What does the Bible say about wizards? Let's see what they say. In the form, the Lord spoke to Moses, and the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a whoring after them. I will set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. Leviticus 26, in the latter Moses order, there should not be found among you. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. It's a wizard human. An individual male human with magical abilities known as a wizard, plural wizards. And an individual female human with magical ability was known as a witch. Okay, now we're going into the witch. Plural witches. So wizard is a man, and witches is a woman. Was sometimes used as gender neutral singular like noun like man. Okay. So let's go to witches. What is a witch?
Here's the definition of witch. A woman thought to have magic powers, especially evil ones, popularly depicted as wearing a black cloak and pointed hat and flying on a broomstick.
Yeah, I need to stop. A woman thought to have magical powers, especially evil one, popularly depicted as wearing black cloak and a pointed hat, Hollywood, and flying on a broomstick. Well, I stayed next door to one, and she wore black. Hey, how you doing, High Priestess? Okay, I'm just say that. Yeah, she wore black, but no, I didn't never see her ride no broom. She had a lot of black cats. She adopted some kids. She was nice. I didn't see her a lot. I played with her kids. One daughter was hers, original daughter, Margaret. She used to tell us scary stories. They was Caucasian, and she told us the story of Mary and the liver. We spent a night one night. Well, stayed late. I don't think we spent the night because the kids that she adopted was our age, a little bit younger than me and my sister. But we like to go over there and play with them. Okay, cast this evil spell on. She did have a picture of what is his name? The one that's on the devil thing, on the devil card. I can't think his name right now. That devil picture. I didn't know what it was at the time. Cast an evil spell on. Okay. Which is witchcraft traditional means the use of magic or supernatural powers to harm others. I think y'all lying. A practitioner is a witch. Let's see. In medieval and early modern Europe, where the term originated, accused witches were usually women who were believed to have attacked their own community and often to have communed with evil beings. Oh, I'm not saying that ain't good or bad. Don't get me wrong. Good and bad in everybody. It's all according to how you do something. Okay. But I think it came from women who knew how to manipulate the elements, use Mother Nature's things, to help and heal. Now, some, of course, is always going to be good and bad. Somebody going to use to have power. You know, that's automatic. A person is, especially a woman, believed to do magic powers. So where did the word come from? Okay, what is a good witch? A white witch is considered good. The practitioner of folk magic for benevolent good purposes. Yeah, so that's what I was talking about. Use it for good. Okay. Where does witch come from? The term witchcraft and witch derived from the Old English WICCACRAFT, WICCECRAFT, from Wicca, masculine. So Wicca is masculine, and WICCE is feminine. Say Wicca craft. And which WITCHAH and WITCHUH, respectively, denoting someone who practices sorcery, and from craft meaning craft or skill. Roughly equivalent words in other European languages such as sorcery, SORCELLERIE. Okay. What is a female witch? A person, especially a woman, who is credited with having unusual, malignant supernatural powers. A practitioner of witchcraft, especially an adherence with neo-pagan tradition or religion. Okay, I did send on Pan. I did some videos on the pagans, such as Wicca, meaning an ugly old woman, haggard, really. I think that lady was ugly. Crown. What is an old witch called? Okay, let's see. Who was the first witch? Bridget Bishop, 1632, June 30th, 1692. Juneteenth, ain't that something? Was the first person executed for witchcraft during the Salem witch trials in 1692. I think I put her name already, didn't I? Yeah. So let's see what did Bridget do to be called that. Bridget, what you did, girl? And Juneteenth, 1692, was the first person executed for witchcraft during the Salem witch trials in 1692. 19 were hanged, and one, Giles Corey, was pressed to death. Damn. Altogether, about 200 people were tried. Norwich, England, Salem colony, Massachusetts. Massachusetts kept coming to me. I kept seeing Massachusetts, Massachusetts. Execution by hanging. She was a housewife. Criminal charge, witchcraft overturned, conspiracy with the devil. I think they was trying to get a new wife, some of them, and they wanted to get rid of the wife. Some of them, not all of them, was evil. Falsely accused, criminal penalty, death, executed. Okay, family life. Bridget's maiden name was Margaret Marnus, Magnus. She and her sister Mercy, her father John, and her mother Rebecca adopted the last name Playfair. Bridget's parental grandmother's maiden name. She was married 3 or possibly 4 times. She married her first husband, Captain Samuel Wellesby, on April 13, 1660, a St. Mary's in the Marsh, Norfolk, England. She had 2 sons and 1 daughter from her first marriage, John Benjamin and Mary. Her first husband died in 1666. Her second marriage on 26 July 1666 was to Thomas Oliver, a widower, a prominent businessman. She had another daughter from her marriage to Thomas Oliver, Christian Oliver, sometimes called Christine, born May 8, 1667. She was early accused of bewitching Thomas Oliver to death, but was acquitted for lack of evidence. Her third marriage, 1687, was Edward Bishop, a prosperous Sawyers, Sawyer, whose family lived in Beverly. Her third husband, Edward Bishop, is also one of the founders of the First Church of Beverly. He was 44 at the time of the trials. Bridget ran 2 taverns alongside Edward. Bridget Bishop was always seen by friends, family, and guests wearing erotic clothes and bright colors, both far from the standard clothes associated with the devil. Oh, she was framed. Okay. Natural allegations. Bridget Bishop was examined due to her execution of suspicion of accusations. Due to her accusation of suspicion of sundry acts of witchcraft. Bishop was accused of bewitching 5 young women, Abigail, Anne, Mercy, Mary, and Elizabeth, on the date of her exhumation by the authorities, April 19, 1692. So they was jealous. Bishop's trial lasted 8 days, officially started the Salem witchcraft trials. A record was given of her trial by Cotton Mather in Wonders of the Invisible World. What? In this book, Mather recorded that, Mather recorded that several people testified against Bishop, stating that the shape of Bishop would punch, choke, or bite them. Wow. The shape also threatened to drown one victim if she did not write her name in a certain book. According to Mathern, during the trial, anytime Bishop would look upon one of her accusers, they would be immediately down, struck down, and only her touch would revive them. More allegations were made during the trial, including that a woman saying that the APA or a bishop tore her coat, and upon further examination, her coat was found to be torn in the exact spot. Mather mentions that the truth of these many allegations carried too much suspicion, however. Ezerick, and John made the complaint against Bridget Bishop. Bishop was charged for committing witchcraft upon 5 women, Anne, Mercy, whatever their name. These women claimed Bridget to be the witch who hurt them. Anne stated that Bishop called the devil her god, while other people such as Richard accused Bishop of taking hold of their throats and ripping Coleman and his wife out of bed. Other girls accused her of harming them with just a quick glance. Even Bishop's own husband claimed she praised the devil. Wow. Hmm. William Stacy, a middle-aged man in Salem town, testified that Bishop had previously made statements to him that other people in the town considered her to be a witch. He confronted her with the allegation that she was using witchcraft to torment him, which she denied. Then local man Samuel Shutter, whatever, accused Bishop of bewitching his child and also of striking his son with the shade. Damn, she didn't have a chance. This God damn. That's how them rumors start. I don't know how they benefited from it, but he also testified that Bishop asked him to dye lace, which apparently was too small to be used on anything but a puppet, a doll used in spell casting. John and William Bly, father and son, testified about finding puppets in Bishop's house and also about their cat that appeared to be bewitched or poisoned after a dispute with Bishop. Other victims of Bishop, as recorded by Matthew, included Deliverance Hobbs, John Cook, Samuel Gray, John Lauder. During her sentencing, a jury of women found a third nipple upon Bishop, then considered uh, a sure sign of witchcraft. Damn. Yet upon a second examination, a nipple was not found. Ain't that a bitch? In the end, Matter states that the greatest thing that condemned Bishop was the gross amount of lying she committed in court. According to Mather, there was little occasion to prove the witchcraft, it being evident and notorious to all beholders. Bishop was sentenced to death and hanged. She was recorded to be the first woman to die from hanging in the colony. Goodwife Bishop, her neighbor wife of Edward Bishop Jr., might not be permitted to receive the Lord's Supper in our church till she had given her the said task satisfaction from some offense that were against her, because said bishop did entertain people in her house at unreasonable hours in the night to keep drinking and playing a shovelboard, whereby discord did arise in other families and young people were in danger to be corrupted, and that she'd trick these things, trash these things, had at once gone into the house and finding some as shovel board, had taken off pieces that played with and thrown them into the fire, and had reproved the said bishop for promoting such disorder, but received no satisfaction from her about it. So she was playing in her house a game with some kids, family, whatever. And they didn't like that she had people in the house playing games, probably was laughing, joking, talking. That's crazy. Okay, let's go to people something else. On mine they beat 'em. I want to go to Marie Lavie. Okay. Before I go to Papa Legba. Marie Lavie. Marie Catherine Lavie was a Louisiana Creole practitioner of voodoo. Okay, so I guess we go to voodoo now. Okay, voodoo. Okay. What's her story? Marie Lavie, how you can say it, also spelled Laveaux, born 1801, New Orleans, Louisiana, now in the U.S., died June 15, 1881, now New Orleans. Voodoo, Queen of New Orleans. Lavie powers reportedly included healing the sick, extending altruistic gifts to the poor, and overseeing spirituality rites. Okay. She was born June 15th, 1881. Interesting, these women born in June, right? Okay, Gemini. Your month, right? Okay. Going into Cancer. Life in New Orleans. There is some confusion regarding her year of birth. Some documents indicated that she was born in 1794, while others 1801. As the year of her birth, she is said to have been born to an African woman named Marguerite and to Charles. I'm not going to say their last name. Man from Saint Domingue, now Haiti. Oh, that's right. Sure was Saint Domingue. Domingue, now Haiti. Forgot that was the name of that. Name Jacques Paris. He reportedly disappeared and was later reported dead. Hmm. I think Louisiana has something, a summer solstice too. Ouch. Uh, he reportedly disappeared. Okay. Upon his disappearance, Levine began referring to herself as the widow Paris. After the reported death of her husband, she started a relationship with John Louis Christopher, blah, blah, blah. Together, they had several children, some of whom were victims of the various yellow fever outbreaks that plagued New Orleans due to the city's poor drainage system. Hmm. Let me write his name down. I'm trying to find my grandma's name, y'all. my grandma people is. She was adopted from from Hades, and I don't know. I don't talk to my uncle now to get okay. So yellow fever. Although Levine was a committed mother and wife, much of her priority in caretaking was extended to her spiritual children and the general community. Levine became a hairdresser to create economic stability for herself and her family. Through interaction with her black clients, who were house servants, she was exposed to personal information about her wealthy white clients who often sought her counsel. Levine used this information to give informed counsel to the people who sought advice for her concerning their personal affairs. Many wealthy and political individuals, both white and black, paid Levine for personal advice, intervention in some situation, and protection against an evil energy that might have been placed against them. Okay. Voodoo as a religious system is derived from spiritual practices from Dahomey, the historical African kingdom located in what is now Benin. Yeah, I gotta go there too. Okay, Africa. Voodoo is actually a foreign word that means spirit or deity. Voodoo was transported to the United States during the transatlantic slave trade. African religion was brought to New Orleans first by the initial group of enslaved Africans from Western Africa. After the revolution of the Santo Domingue, 1791-1804, another wave of African people brought their religion to New Orleans. The voodoo tradition was strengthened and reinforced by the free and enslaved African community of New Orleans. It is important to note that the practice of voodoo in New Orleans is not the purest manifestation of voodoo as it is known in Dahomey. Also, it is not the same religious system that is observed in Haiti. Saint Domingue, whatever you said, was isolated, and religious and cultural practices were maintained and sustained. However, in New Orleans, voodooists had to adhere to strict European laws, codes, and oppression associated with enslavement. Voodoo was often under scrutiny by public officials and the law. Nevertheless, voodoo held a strong presence in New Orleans throughout the centuries, and voodoo ceremonies and activities took place at various sites around the city. Voodoo in New Orleans consists of root work and GRIS or juju. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Spell with a G. People would seek out conjurers, okay, or other spiritualists to for spiritual intervention or protection in their daily affairs. These favors range from those concerning love to political influence. Although most workers use their powers for positive forces, there were some who did not. It was probably the work of this small percentage of people that was sensationalized by people outside of the religion. I don't know. Oh, no, it ain't. Okay. This aspect of religion became known as hoodoo. Okay. So the bad part, bad hoodoo outside of the religion, and is often based for misconceptions that public society has about voodoo. Hmm. Said by some to be the granddaughter of a powerful priestess in Saint Domingue, Levine reportedly had a familiar background in Africa's spirituality. She was drawn to religion after the death of her mother. Levine underwent the tutelage of Dr. John Bayou, a well-known Senegales conjurer, root worker. Okay. She did not take long to dominate the culture and society of voodoo in New Orleans. As a queen for several decades, Levine was mother to many. People sought her advice for marital affairs, domestic disputes, judicial issues, childbearing, finances, health, and good luck. Levine would in turn counsel her practitioners by supplying them with advice or with protective spiritual objects such as candles, powder, and assortment of other items mixed together to create a juju. As Queen Levine predominantly orchestrated rituals at three main sites: her home on St. Anne Street, Congo Square, Lake Pontchartrain. Pontchartrain. What? I heard that when I was growing up. Okay. At her home on St. Anne Street, Levine would converse with clients who would meet with her regarding an issue they were having. In her backyard, she would also have ceremonies that conjured the spirit of great zombie spirit, great zombie, zombie. I heard all of this. The deity Damballahwdo, who would manifest through a snake. The second major ritualistic space, Congo Square, was a public square that was set aside by city officials as a gathering space for both enslaved and free African people. Levine would gather her followers here on Sundays to dance and worship. No major ceremonies would take place here, but it was a place of spiritual gathering and rejuvenation for Africans who experienced major oppression and hardships both on a plantation and as free citizens. The last place of significance that was presided over by Levine was Bayou St. John's. which was located on the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. Ain't this fun? It was here that I'm from Louisiana. Yeah, okay. It was here that major ceremonies took place among the initial in the region. Levine would often be accompanied by her king or second-ranking male officiate, singing, dancing, drumming, and spiritual possession would occur in these gatherings. Curious white people would often sneak into the woods to witness these ceremonies. For sensationalism, they would often report extreme tales of what they witnessed. Okay, start the line, jealous. Rivals of Marine Levine, there were often rivals over who should rule the voodoo system in New Orleans. Before Levine took reign, there were two women who preceded her as queen. The first was Santee Dee, who ruled for several years before she was ushered by Marie Saloppe, who introduced Levine to the intricacies of the religion and produced her with her fundamental tutelage, Tutelage. After taking a prominent stance as voodoo queen, Levine reigned unchallenged until 1850 when another Creole woman named Rosalie attempted to challenge Levine's position. To create an aura of fear and awe, Rosalie placed a huge, life-size wooden doll in her yard that was said to have been reported from Africa. The statue was covered with beads and intricate carvings. When people in the voodoo community began expressing fear and respect for Rosie because of the doll, Levine stole the statue. The hell? So a large doll. Hmm. She was taken to court by Rosalie, but used her persuasive powers and influence to have the doll permanently removed. There were several other root workers and voodooists who gathered in mild attention during Levine's reign. Lord, always something. Survivor of voodoo. During the latter years of her life, Levine had to move her practices across the Mississippi River to the area of New Orleans known as Algier, was the first point of arrival of enslaved African people in New Orleans. Oh, she was in Mississippi first. Really? Point of arrival enslaved African people in New Orleans and also the birthplace of voodoo in New Orleans. Later Levine's death in 1881, voodoo in New Orleans lost a great deal of its whatever, flavor, whatever. As more people began to assimilating economically and socially, the need to depend on the ancient rites and traditions of the old time religion decreased. Voodoo had begun taking on new forms, becoming incorporated into other religions. Levine is buried at St. Louis Cemetery, number 1. Interesting. I did see a movie, a documentary, or whatever, of people going on there and touching her, putting cross or something on there, and they would get healed. And whole bunch of flowers, bring gifts, stuff like that to her gravesite. Each year, thousands of visitors flocked to her tomb and adored her plot with spiritual regal, regalia, candles, money, flowers, and assorted personal items. Yeah, let's see that. Okay. Voodoo, also spelled Voodoo, Voodun, or French Voodoo, a traditional African Haitian religion. Voodoo represents a syncretism of the Western African Voodoo religion and Roman Catholicism, centers of okay, okay, wait a minute. Western African Voodoo religion and Roman Catholicism by the descendants of the homonym Dahomaen Congo Yoruba and other ethnic groups who had been enslaved and transported to colony Saint Domingue, as Haitian was known, and partly Christianized by Roman Catholic missionaries in the 16th, 17th century. The word voodoo starts spirit, a deity. Okay, okay, I want to go to Benin. It's in Africa. I want to go there right quick. So I looked at all this on documentaries before. Benin. Benin, official Republic of Benin, French Republic, however, formerly until 1975, the Dahomey or Pope's Republic, People's Republic of Benin, Benin, country of Western Africa. It consists of a narrow wedge of territory extending northward from about 420 miles, Gulf of Gulf of Geneva, Guinea, in the Atlantic Ocean, on which it has a 75-mile sea coast to the Nega River, which forms part of Benin's northern border with Nega. See, I can see why they call it nigger, why they say nigger, because it is a Nega River. So the people usually be called by the area that they stay. Benin is bordered to the northwest by Burkinafaso, to the east of Niagara, how you say that, and to the west of Togo, the official capital of Porto Novo. But Contonou is Benin's largest city, its chief port, and its de facto administrative capital. Benin, Benin was a French colony from the late 19th century until 1960. Okay. Yellow, red, Yellow, red, and green. Really? Ain't that something? Flag of Benin, Benin. Heads of state and government, President Patrick. Okay, we don't need to know all that. Prior to the colony rule, part of this territory that is now Benin consists of powerful independent kingdoms, including various party PARIBA kingdoms in the north, and in the south, the kingdoms of Novo, and the on the belly of Dan. Oh, so this is the tribe of Dan. Okay, so this is the tribe of Dan, Jacob's son, right? He is the son of, oh, the maid of Leah. Okay, 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 okay. Dan was a rival king on whose grave the Hamas royal compound was built. In the late 19th century, French colonizers making inroads from the coastal region into the interior border, the name of defeated him kingdom for the entire territory that is now Benin, and current name derives from the BIGHT of Benin. Okay. Ah, okay. Tribe of Dan. Okay. Relief. Benin consists of five natural regions. The coastal region is low, flat, and sandy, backed by tidal marshes and lagoons. Marshes and lagoons. Composed of, in effect, a long sandbar on which grow clumps of coconut palms. Lagoons are narrowed in the western part of the country. I want to see what else will grow. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go to that again. Okay, their voodoo is completely normal and benign. People across West Africa, let's read it right. Let's see. The reality of voodoo in Benin. As Pope Benedict the 16th visits Benin, widely seen as the home of voodoo, Virgil, whatever, from BBC Africa explains the reality behind what is often a misunderstood religion. Why is the Pope visiting? Voodoo is completely normal in Benin. People across West Africa, especially Togo, Ghana, and Nicaragua, I would say, hold similar beliefs, but in Benin it is recognized as official religion, followed by some 40% of the population. Voodoo play as a public holiday, and there's a National Voodoo Museum. It has none of the negativity connotations it has in the West, and many of those who are officially Christian or Muslim also incorporate some voodoo elements into their beliefs, especially in times of crisis. But voodoo is more than a belief system, it is a complete way of life, including cultural, philosophy, language, art, dance, music, and medicine. The voodoo spiritual world consists of MADHOU, the supreme being, and about 100 deities are voodoos who represent different phenomena such as war and blacksmiths, GOU, illnesses, healing, and earth, scapata, storms, lightning, and justice, or water, mommy water, mommy water, mommy give me water, right? Okay, okay. Hmm. Voodoo priests ask these gods to intervene on behalf of ordinary people, a local adherents stress that they have nothing to do with sorcery or black magic. Okay. People here do not stick needles into dolls to cause misfortune to their enemies, as you see in some Western films. This image may have arisen from the icons of a particular god which a priest may have in their shrine. Some voodoo priests use herbs to cure the sick and possibly to poison enemies. They also sometimes ask for offerings such as a chicken or a sheep, which is then sacrificed to the divinity, or some alcohol is poured into the floor. This can happen when asking for help or when you wish has been granted. People seek help on a variety of issues: to be cured of disease, find a job, complete a business deal, find a spouse, or have a child. Interesting. Okay, let's go to Papa Legba. Papa Legba. Papa Legba is a Iwa and Haitian voodoo who serves as the intermediary between the Iwa and humanity. He stands as a spiritual crossroads and gives or denies permission to speak with the spirits of Juani, and is believed to speak all human languages. It's a man that stand on this corner by my house, well, down the street. He's at the crossroad. The crossroad is, if the street going like this, like that, right at the red light, north, south, east, west. And he looks just like Papa Legba. He has the hat on his head. He used to have a dog. We don't have a dog anymore, so I don't know if the dog got hurt. And he carries a cane, and I believe he's there for, if you need something, you know what I'm saying? I really think that. I think he's like a derivative of Papa Legba, like he works for him. I don't know. It could be him, I don't know. And is believed to speak all human languages. In Haiti, he is the greater echo, elocutioner. What does mean? Elocutioner. Legba facilitates communication, speech, and understanding. He is commonly associated with dogs. Papa Legba is invoked at the beginning of every ceremony. Papa Legba has his origins in the historic West African kingdom of, okay, the the Hami we just talked about. He's tribe of Dan. Okay, okay. located within present-day Benin. Folk Catechism. Feast, June 13th, yesterday. Okay. Wow. Okay. Appearance. He usually appears as an old man on a crutch or with a cane, wearing a broad brimmed straw hat. That's what he have on broad. And I don't know if he smoke a pipe. Or drinking sparkling water. He has always have some water. The dog is sacred to him. Legba is synchretized and Saint Peter, Saint. Okay, I don't know what that means. Syncretized. Y'all probably know what that means. Okay. Saint Peter. Okay, so they Saint Lazarus and Saint Anthony. Okay, so that's him. They just changed the name. Alternative views in Benin, Nicaragua, however, Togo and Ghana. Ghana just got zillions of dollars. So this okay, so that zillion of dollars was a tribe of Dan of gold they just found. Okay, am I kidding y'all? I think I'm kidding y'all. Mainly among the Euro Y O R U B O I D and GBE TADOID peoples. LEGBA is viewed as a young and virile trickster deity, Gemini. At birthday, Gemini, often horned and PHALLIC. I know what that word means, I can't think of it. And his shrine is usually located at the gate of the village in the countryside. Alternatively, he is addressed as Legba Atabon. Legba. Atibon. Or Atabon Legba or Atagabon Legba. Papa Legba is thought to have emerged from the Yoruba and GBE. Okay, a continuing of Orishas, ESHU. This emerged as Loa, Papa Legba, and Haitian Voodoo. Spirit Legba, Papa Legba in New Orleans Hoodoo. Oh, really? So in Haitian, in Voodoo, maybe Lawa, Papa Legba, but in New Orleans, it's Hoodoo. Okay, as in ORICHAELEGUA in Santeria. Oh, okay. Popular culture. In this study of the Delta blues, Robert Palmer discusses the appearance of Legba and blues, lyrics and lore. Oh yeah, I know a lot of stars, a lot of singers asked Papa Legba to make him famous. Palmer notes that Legba can be referred to as identified as the devil, Papa Legba, and a black man throughout the history of the blues. This is also made clear in mm, ethnomusicologist Bruno plumbers. Text for the CD box as said Voodoo in America, where reference to Papa Legba, deity of roads and crossroads, in Robert Johnson's Ionic song Crossroads is explained. There is an extensive reference to Voodoo in the Spiral Trilogue, 1984-1988 by William Gibson. The second book, Count Zero, 1986. Papa Legba stands at the gateway to cyberspace as the master of roads and pathways. Really? So is he kind of like in Thor Bifrost? You know what I'm saying? Just saying. Not disrespect at all. Just asking. With other Loa, LOA, appearing through the book. Papa Legba and Buddha appearing again in Spook Country, book, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. Now you got books going on. What else do I have? Which is Stonehenge. Okay. Oh, summer solstice. What is summer solstice in New Orleans? The rite of summer solstice. A witch's Sabbath. Sabbat. Join New Orleans Covenant at Ulman on Join the New Orleans Coven at Ulman on June 24th at 7 p.m. to celebrate the rite of summer solstice, a witch's Sabbath. This is a free event. Okay. Join the New Orleans Coven at Ulman on June 24th, 7 p.m. Blah blah blah. This is a free event, also called Midsummer, Summertide, St. John's Day, and Vestalia. This is an ancient fire festival associated with solar deities. In Crete, we view this as the male force of creation, much like the Egyptian sun god Ra. Really? So what does that mean? Keeping men in position or what? He is the father and consort of the great goddess. Their love is the fertile force that flows through all creation, giving us abundance, joy, and magic. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Join us in a celebration in life, love, joy, and prosperity. After the event, we will be gathering at Potions, Private New Orleans, Speak Easy for magical society time, social time. Hmm, interesting. Oh, gotta go back to Benin for a minute. I see something else up here. Let's see. Dark Secrets. Voodoo and Benin. Wanderlust Travel Magazine. Let's see what he's saying. Enter the world of Pathan temples, haystacks, cults, and oozing fetus shrines. The gate of no return. What? So it's a portal. Nouidah, Benin. Hmm. Barefoot, I stepped into a purifying mold of candle wax, palm oil, and the feathers and blood of sacrificed goats and chickens. I was ready to converse with the spirit god Dankolai in the shadow woodland glade before the shattered tree stump fetish adorned with jawbones. I hammered a wooden peg into the gooey shrine. After beseeching the god to grant my wish, I sealed our deal by anointing the shrine with blood red palm oil and spitting out 3 mouthfuls of fiery homemade gin. If your wish comes true, remain Pascal, the voodoo attendant. Yes, please. I've been meaning to get up for the longest. I ain't got up yet. The voodoo attendant, you must return to sacrifice 2 chickens to Canculi. I'm sorry, let me say that wrong. Danakuli. I won't reveal what I wish for. And anyhow, this was not my real inspiration for visiting Benin, a peaceful, democratic West African Mindanao squeezed between Nicaragua and Togo. My true motivation was the Viceroy of ODI, a lyric novel by Bruce Chatwin, written early 30 years ago. It tells of Dom Francisco de Salvador, a 19th century Brazilian migrant who became Benet's most notorious slave trader. Chadwick's narrated of bloodthirsty African kings, slavery, and French and Portuguese ambitions is Entralling. Yet what really captured me were the tales of voodoo, a practice that is still followed by over 60% of Beninese today and considered the state religion. Behind closed doors, handcrafted voodoo statues for sale at the Benai Voodoo Festival near Ouidah. While voodoo certainly isn't fiction here, witnessing it in action seems unlikely at first. In Cotonou, Benay's largest city, the tourist office told me to return in January because I'd only see voodoo at an annual festival in whatever, offering choreographic ceremonies for Benay's strictly of larger French tourists. This is far from the truth. Beneath worship a pantheon of voodoo deities, and with a good guide and a few financial endorsements, authentic ceremonies can be witnessed all year round. With this knowledge, I headed to Porto Novo, a lagoon-facing former French colony city of 350,000 people, 40 minutes drive from busy Cantu, whatever, and on the flat coastal plain of Siboney's voodoo heartland. An attractive city of spirits worshipped by the animist Animist people. Porto Novo's most visible ghosts are world weary French houses with honey colored facades, FACADS, and peeling shutters, and I spent my first morning exploring its fine museums. Kings are Tenapin in Benin all through. As museums guide Morel explained, Benin's monarchy endured a hiatus during French colonization in 1890 and its 30-year flirtation with communism. Porto Novo's ceremonial king no longer resides inside Homi's maze of red earthen compounds, nor does he take advantage of the royal bathhouse where two new queens were once prepared for the reigning monarch every 21 days, or the mysterious Chambry Nori, where successive rulers constitute consult the spirits about their destiny. His door was firmly shut. Nearby, the hefty wooden doors of the curious-looking building shaped like an enormous haystack, the lodge of the god Zangbeto, were closed too. Okay, come on, get to the thing. Members of this secret cult Peron beneath these streets after dark, like unofficial police, dressing in haystack costumes and sporting sticks to beat unruly citizens. I walked around late every evening hoping to witness them, but I never did. And then fate eventually smiled upon me. I met an English speaking teacher called Yvette. She took me to see a local for reader, FA reader, Supreme Beings, women painting voodoo symbols in Benin village. In a cupboard sized room crammed with potions, the medium Casman Fabi fingered his FABs, threads of 8 wooden discs like a rosary. The power of Mami Lisa, Voodoo Supreme Being, sent Faye to Earth as a medium to answer questions about the future. Yvette told me, also describing how the medium casts his beads into one of 256 positions that he then inter- interprets as the word of his God. Castman was soon swirling his beads around, eyes glazed and mumbling repetitive invocations. It was spooky. Water quartz and cowrie shells were also heaped on the cast beds. Then Casman rang the bell. He's back, whispered Yvette. My reading was not particularly flattering. A sort of must try harder school report, potentially remedied by sleeping under a white sheet with the light left on. We ended by sipping Kasbah gin infused with herbs to remedy erectile dysfunction. I politely refused seconds. Later that afternoon, Yvette and I traveled by motorbike taxi to Tankapi Temple, some temple, Tolapata, 10 minutes outside Porto Novo. With Yvette's help and a cash donation, I was finally able to attend an out otherwise closed ceremony. The Mama Wata's voodooism followers filed in, predominantly women in white robes. I was very excited. But as my guidebook informed, Mama Wata is the mermaid like goddess of water who offers happiness and fortune to those who courage to meet her at the seaside. And despite my hammer house of horror expectation, not a drop of sacrificial blood was spilled, nor did any eye plunging zombies grace the affair. I wonder is that what they're talking about? I was talking about that movie, the lady being in the water. Let me see. A sense of lying. I'm read off of YouTube. What is you talking about? Okay. Anyway, instead, the main altar, barrettes of human skulls, was a dribbling accumulation of wax and oil that reminded me of a cheesy table decoration in an Italian restaurant. Still, it was an enjoyable, melodious, almost gospel affair. A harmonious female choir sang beautifully, narrated before the head priest who sat with an ivory cane beneath an inflatable Santa Claus. Voodoo is about peace and prosperity. The priest later explained, ignoring my question about sticking pins into effigies of your enemies. Shame, I prepared a list. However, my next destination, Chadwin's occult capital Louidah, promised something a little more Noire, about 70 kilometers west from Porto Nova. That O word is the most at- atmospheric and elegantly crumbling small city. Every morning, the irresistible aroma of freshly baked baguette drove me mad with hungry fangs, and after a few days, voodoo was the last thing on my mind. On one of the city's caramel colored sand streets, noting sumptuous architectural landmarks such as the Portuguese fort built in 1721 to administer slave transportation and Afro-Brazilian mansions of emancipated slaves returning from the Americas. I followed a fanfare jazz funeral and visited a temple writing with pythons decorated to the snake god Dan. Hmm. At dusk, I settled into the bar near the Python temple. Okay, I want to see and watch clouds of fruit bats funnel from the mango tree like departing souls. Everywhere I went, I was accompanied by swapping children performing their jaunty little song, Yovo, white man, Yovo, Kavo, Yovo, Yovo, bonjour. Okay, I want to see something. I want to see the story of Dan. Who was Dan in the Bible? The tribe of Dan. Dan, I should say
According to
that.
Wikipedia,
Tribe of
Dan,
Dan.
meaning judge, was one of the
Okay, there
12
was a
tribes of Israel,
judge.
according to the Torah.
Judge in the Bible. It's interesting right there. It was one of the 12 tribes of Israel, according to the Torah. They were allocated a coastal port of land when the people of Israel entered the promised land, later moving northwards. What did Dan in the Bible do? Bible references in Apollo, whatever, Testament of Patriarchal. Dan is portrayed as having hated Joseph, okay, and having been the one that invented the idea of deceiving Jacob by smearing of Joseph's coat with the blood of the kid. Oh, oh, really? Kid goat. Okay. So he hated Joseph. Okay. Hmm. Let's see. Interesting. So he's judgment. Or he judged was the first of the two sons of Jacob and Bilhah. Okay, so who actually, I was thinking about that too. The maids that they got to have the babies, Reuben and Leah playing. Okay, so that was her maid, Leah. I was like, what is the background of this woman? You know? Um, Bilhah, mother. What I got in front of me. Shit. Hold on now. Sorry. Anyway, oh shoot, my phone running dead. What time is? Ooh, I'm in 2 hours. I thought she was. I said she was given to Rachel. Oh yes, well I got it. Rachel's maid. Okay, that was Rachel. Okay, Rachel got the son Dan, and Nefertiti. Yeah, yeah, that was right. Yeah, I'm talking about. Okay, I'm right. Shit, I'm tripping. No, I said Leah. Okay, so that's Rachel maid. Okay, said Dan. Okay. Oh, Leah had Zilpha and had Gad, Asher, and the rest. Okay. Who was given to Rachel to be her handmaiden on Rachel's marriage to Jacob. And Rachel failed to have children. Rachel gave Bilhah to Jacob like a wife to bear him children. Bilhah gave him two sons, whom Rachel claimed as her own, and named Dan and Nefertiti. Genesis 35:22 expressly calls Bilhah Jacob's concubine a Pelagies. What's that? Okay, concubine. Social or legal status inferior to that of a wife. Okay. Men commonly acknowledge their concubine, and such women enjoy the same rights as the house legit wives. Okay. When Leah saw that she had stopped having children, she took her servant. Okay, that's when Leah started tripping. But I'm still trying to see. Also, Belham means unworried, but still not telling them. She was Tabat to Tiberian Hebrew. I can't say that word right now. Hebrew means unworried. And they use women like what shit, right? Damn. How you being a concubine? Like who gonna marry you? You gotta wait till he come back around and all those other women before you can go to bed with him. But you treated good. You're not as treated good as the man wives, but you still taken care of. Wow. Dan derives from Dananni, meaning he has judged. He has judgment. In reference to Rachel's belief that she had gain a child as a result of judgment from God. Mm. And he was tricked. Wasn't even, well, he tricked his brother, Esau. So her daddy tricked him, and she got the horrible end of it. Because she couldn't have no children after he married her older sister, which he was in love with her. And so everybody got tricked. And she's feeling bad about it because her sister having popping babies and giving her maid. And then she dies. And then he end up with the older sister. Amen. Yeah, I'm gonna have to end go to black sheep. What? Dan was very much a black sheep. Okay, I'm thinking black lamb. Okay, they call him the black sheep. Okay, I'm gonna have to finish this later. Trying to find out where he ended up being. Dan is described as a serpent who seems to have been interpreted as connecting Dan to Bella, a connection made, for example, in apocryphal testament of Dan. Oh shit, this gonna get good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to close. I gotta let my phone charge. I'll be back part two, okay? Sorry I didn't do the tarot yet, but I'll be back. All right, love y'all. Be back. Let me let it charge. All right, love y'all.